Hi everyone, it's Michael here from ReplicaAirguns.com, and I have taken a look at this Daisy WInchester Model 11. I actually did a comparison video where I compared this Daisy WInchester Model 11 to a Cybergun Tanfoglio Witness 1911. So I'll put a link in here so you can check that video out, because both guns are kind of similar in some ways and rather different in others. So make sure to check that video out if you want to see the comparison video. Alright, so let's get into the specifications for this Daisy WInchester Model 11. Now this is a blowback, mostly metal constructed pistol. It uses 12-gram CO2 cartridges and shoots 4.5mm steel BBs. It has a 16-shot dropout plastic magazine. So note that the magazine is plastic and it's not a full size, it's more of a stick mag. It also has a smoothbore barrel and shoots in single action only, just like a real 1911. It weighs 1.87 pounds, which is 843 grams, and has a claimed feet per second of up to 410. Now, as you can see, it is styled after a Colt 1911 A1 styled 45 auto. And I'll just show you another gun, the comparison gun here. And here's our KWC / Cybergun Tanfoglio Witness. It's referred to by both companies slightly different. If it's Cybergun, it's the Tanfoglio Witness. If it's KWC, it's the M1911. Really the same gun. KWC and Cybergun are both the same guns. You'll notice this KWC version doesn't have all the white writing on the slide and doesn't have the warning instructions on this side as well. And many people want to take that off. So your best option is just get the KWC version if you don't want that writing on the slide. But both of these guns, as you can see, are 1911s in design. Other than that, they're quite a bit different. And again, watch the comparison video if you want to see what the real differences are. Now, the Daisy WInchester Model 11 is made in Japan, and it comes in a cardboard box here. I'll show you that. Okay. Not bad. Also comes with a manual, just a little paper manual. I'm not going to show you this too much, but you'll want to note how to install the CO2. That's a little bit different, so you'll definitely need to refer to the manual for that. Alright, now before I get started, I'm just going to shoot this gun a little bit, just because I do have, now this is the fun part, I'll notice this, the safety, you have to push that in and down, which is weird. I don't know why they've done that, but they have a redundant safety going on here. You should just be able to, well, you can flick it up, but you have to almost use two fingers to remove the safety, which I found a little odd. So now I'm going to take the magazine out. I don't have any BBs in here, but I do have some CO2. So I'm going to hold the slide catch, just fire off a few rounds. Here we go. I'm just going to hold it here, just to get rid of the CO2. And there's quite a bit of CO2 left. As you go in the house, it warms up. I just want to get rid of most of this. Okay, we're pretty much done. Now I'm going to open up the back here and let out the CO2. So when you pull it up, it allows you to take the cover off and release the CO2. So I'll show you that right now. I just wanted to disarm this gun because I didn't want to have live CO2 in it for the review. Let me just take the CO2 out. Now I'm going to show you this right now while we're at it. To load the CO2, again, you'll just pull that out and down. Then you'll put the butt in first, and then you'll push this all the way to the top, which will usually go like this. It kind of goes like this, and then you can push that in, okay? So it's kind of like, you can kind of do it in one motion, or you can do it in two, and then pop that in. And that's how you put the CO2 in. Now this is a empty CO2, we're okay. And you'll notice that when you pull this out, it pops the CO2 up. So let me show you that again. Okay, see how the CO, or it's not the CO2, but the actual grip pops out so you can remove it. So that's kind of neat how that works. So I'm glad I got that out of the way. We'll put the magazine back in. Alright, so let's get on with this walk around. We're looking at the left side of this gun. Now the gun has, I guess you'd call it etched, or it's actually burned or whatever when they make the slide. This is part of the slide. It's not engraved. I wouldn't say it's not painted on, but it is also not white. So you have your Winchester branding, you have the model number, you have the Daisy Outdoor Products here, all the different information, serial number, some information, slide release. What I did notice is here, clip release. This is not a clip. A clip is something that holds the bullets until they are placed in the gun. Many people get that sort of confused. A magazine holds the bullet and the whole kit and caboodle goes in the gun. When it's a magazine, it stays in the gun. When it's a clip, it's just used to load the actual ammunition into the gun, and then that clip is removed, so you don't use the clip in the gun. So different between clip and magazine. This is a magazine, it stays in the gun, so I guess they don't know the difference here at Daisy. So single action trigger, right? So you can't cock it and actually release it by pulling it once. You have to, either the slide has to go back from blowback and then you can release the trigger, or you have to cock it manually. Okay, again, the safety, this crazy safety here, you can put it up with one finger, but you kind of need two fingers to take it off. Maybe Daisy felt that the 1911 safety wasn't safe enough as is. The backstrap safety, or the grip safety, is non-working, so they'll show you that. You can release the hammer without the backstrap safety or the grip safety being pushed in. Okay, plastic grips, everything's pretty much metal on this gun. All these parts are metal with the exception of the grips and the magazine. Okay, the slide only catches it back part way, and the slide release isn't that satisfying, but it's okay. Not a super heavy spring. So we'll look at the right side here. You have some more markings, just information, some instructions. It would be better if they just left that off, but it's on there. I can see how they would want to put the warning on there. They're maybe looking at liability issues. Made in Japan. Got this rather large screw here. You got the F marking there. That's for European markets. Got this, don't know what that is. That's the opposite side of your magazine release. Again, plastic grips. Nice looking gun though. I mean, it's the right size, it's the right look as a 1911. It's just missing a few things that the Cybergun and the KWC version offer, which is a little bit more realism. Alright, so we'll look at the top a bit. Again, you have your ejection port. Now you can't see right through. We'll even take this magazine out. You can't see through. It's just the design of the gun. But you do have some nice sights here. Notch sight in the back. Just a standard sight, what you would find on a 1911. This screw is probably for disassembling the gun. It wouldn't be on the real gun. Alright. Now, it's nice. I mean, there's no like CO2 tightening screw hanging out the bottom, so that's all good. Nothing wrong with that. Again, metal trigger guard. No rail, of course, as you wouldn't find on a real 1911. You do have some seams on here, but they're not terrible. Okay. Now the barrel is not recessed that much, so there's your 4.5mm barrel, whereas you'll find on the KWCs and Tanfoglios it goes in quite a bit more. So there are definitely some more realistic aspects to the KWC version. And again, this isn't the full review or comparison, but you can see that there's a lot more realism going on in the KWC. The slide locks back all the way, more satisfying. So again, refer to that comparison video. Alright, so at this point I'm going to just take you outside really quickly. I did do a preliminary test. Now I do want to apologize for the quality of especially the audio of the glasses that I used. I was trying out some new camera glasses and I think they're going back to the store. I might try another set. But the audio was making some popping sounds, kind of annoying. So just please try to ignore the popping sound and just take it for what it's worth. You will get an idea or a sense of how this gun performs in terms of the chronograph and in terms of shooting at a target from 20 feet out. So let's head outside real quick and I'll show you how this gun performed. Alright everyone, I'm all set up. I've got my Winchester Model 11 for this pre-test. We're going to put 5 rounds through the chronograph, then I'm going to go straight back, shoot 10 rounds into the target, see how well we do. I'm using my new glass camera. They're basically, well, they're just glasses with the camera in them. Frame rate may not be as high as usual, but it should get the job done. Give us an idea of how this gun's actually shooting. Alright, so let's do this. First, chronograph, 5 rounds. Here we go. Shot 1, 329, 362.6, 366.9, 360. So sitting around 360. That first shot was a little slow. Now that was the first shot out of the gun. And last shot, I believe, yeah, 355. So right around 350 to 360 would be a pretty promising feet per second for this gun. Let's head back, at least in this cold temperature. that we're experiencing. It's not exactly cold, not a hot summer day by any means. And here we go. 10 rounds. Interesting. 2, 3. Slide's not going all the way forward, so I'm going to rest it up here. I think the bag is in the way slightly, so we'll try a little bit different hold here. It's the bag getting in the way. So I'll reset after each shot. We are 20 feet away. I don't even know how many shots I've taken. Take 2 more altogether. 1 more. Alright, let's take a look. Not a bad group, just 2 kind of went a little bit weird here. So we've got basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with these 2 outside. But these ones were in 2 inches and these ones came out just a bit. Not bad, fairly well centered. Alright, so let's head back inside and finish up this review. Alright, we're back. And as you can see, this gun shot about 350 to 360 feet per second. It was a bit of a cooler day, so I can see this gun performing a bit better on a hot day, maybe getting up to 410. On a really hot day, I would say you're probably going to settle in maybe 370, 380. Now it did shoot a fairly decent group there, almost got 2 inches with a few stragglers. So we'll see if I can better that when I actually do the field test. So make sure to watch the field test when I do get around to it. Now I was able to get approximately 5 16-shot magazines. On the 5th magazine, I did have to cock the hammer on the last several shots because the blowback was not cocking the hammer. But the power of the BBs was fine. Now there is no way to field strip this gun, so I'm not even going to try. It would require tools, so don't really even ask about that. It's just not going to happen. Now some of the pros for the Daisy WInchester Model 11. It's got lots of metal in this gun. It has a good overall weight and feel, and it's generally a good looking replica of a real 1911. It has a reasonable amount of blowback feel to it. Not as much as the Cybergun or KWC version, but it still has enough to give you that feedback. Now the feet per second I would consider to be mid-range, so there's a little bit of a pro there over the KWC Cybergun versions, which shoot a little bit slower. And the Winchester Model 11 also has the single action 1911 style trigger, which is nice, and the shots were well centered with decent accuracy. Now I like that the markings and instructions on the gun are color matched. They're not white, so they don't stand out and they kind of blend into the gun. I like the solid CO2 tightening system that they have. There's no CO2 tab hanging out the bottom. All you have to do is make sure you read those instructions, and pretty soon you'll get the hang of how to install CO2. Now this gun is fairly inexpensive. It's a little cheaper than the Cybergun and KWC Tanfoglio 1911 versions, but again, it isn't quite as realistic. Alright, so some cons. It does have a kind of funny safety setup, and I would say it's redundant. I'm not really sure what Daisy was trying to do here. Maybe they felt that the 1911 styled safety that's been around for a long time just wasn't good enough. But anyways, you're almost going to need 2 hands to disengage the safety. I'm also not a big fan of the plastic magazine. It would have been nice to have at least seen a metal magazine in there. And the backstrap safety does not work. Even though you're able to push it in, it doesn't really do anything. And as I mentioned before, this gun is not field strippable, and I know a lot of you are looking for that in a BB or airsoft gun. The ability to field strip is just a nice added feature. Alright, so this gun is not available in the Replica Airguns Canada store at this time. You never know, we might be adding it to the store, so I'm not going to say we're not going to ever have it, but at the time of this video it's not in there. And to be honest, if you're going to buy either the Daisy or the Cybergun KWC 1911, I would suggest just go ahead, spend a few extra bucks and get the KWC or Cybergun Tanfoglio Witness 1911. In my opinion, it's a little bit better gun overall. Alright, so I'd like to thank you for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and also make sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. I'll also be putting some links in the description of this video so you can check out the post on my website with some more photos and maybe some other information there. I'll also have some links where you can buy similar guns in our Canada and US Replica Airgun store. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.